topic of our meeting. And I think it is very important that in addition, like complementing what we have seen and heard before, the achievements and, let's say, baseline, what should be done in the future, it is important now what is the international experience in this field and what are the recommendations which representatives of international organizations could contribute to the discussion. So I'm really glad to be on panel with these distinguished speakers. And I think I generalized, I told that there are only representatives of international organizations, but there is also representative of the host organization of Tbilisi Polytechnical University. So it is also quite interesting and important for us who are coming from cultural sectors that Polytechnics is hosting this UNESCO chair and is interested in applications of informatics and technologies in cultural sector. It is really strikingly interesting for us also how it will be developed in closest future through the initiative of Silk Road Cultural Hub. So our first presentation is by Mrs. Chen Chongwen from China. Mrs. Chen is deputy of UNESCO ITI. UNESCO ITI and PA, what is PA? Culture Capital? Huh? No, PA. PA Culture Capital Program. Performing Arts. Culture Capital Program. But anyway, all details will be in the presentation, so sorry for this the delay with announcing your speech, please.
Thank you very much. I think I should stand up, and I will sit there, and which give me more dynamic. And one of my colleagues reminds me to say, oh, it will be difficult because it's the afternoon session and everybody just feed their stomach. It's true. So let's be a little bit dynamic. I'm here, and I hope my presentation will be concise and can catch your attention. Thank you. Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues and friends. It's a pleasure to be here in Tbilisi, Georgia, and it's my first visit in this beautiful country. I introduce myself again. My name is Chen Zhongwen, and I'm a Deputy General and Director General of International Theatre Institute, ITI. This organization is one of the most biggest organization for the performing arts. Before I introduce you ITI, I want to first express my heartfelt gratitude to the organizer for creating such a thoughtful and immersive experience for us as international guests. Over the past 5 days, we have explored the rich culture of Georgia, from ancient monastery and to the homemade cuisine, from the wine fabrication to the dried fruits. And the most remarkable is we also watched the wonderful folk dance and traditional singing songs. We drink, we talk, and we share the beautiful moment together. So this morning, we also listened to some rich program about the presentation from the sittings. I think we should say we have witnessed the importance placed on culture enrichment at the government level, and your commitment to enhancing the culture fabric of this setting is recommendable. On behalf of ITI, My sincere appreciation to everyone involved in making this event possible. Now, let me present the International Theatre Institute, ITI. ITI, founded in 1948 by the UNESCO. It's already more than 73 years history. It stands as a global force dedicated to fostering the international exchange and the collaboration within the performing arts, with the particular emphasis on theater. Our guidance principle is celebrating diversity in the global theater. ITI is more than just an organization. It acts as a catalyst for cultural understanding and mutual respect among theater practitioners worldwide. Our mission is very clear. Our mission is to promote the value of the theater as a tool for cultural exchange, arts education, and social transformation. With a presence in 78 countries, ITI's global network empowers us to reach diverse culture and communities. We have achieved key milestones, including establishing national centers, regional councils, and launching over 15 committees with the artistic, education, and the humanist focuses. Thanks to the commitment of the ITI national centers, some of my colleagues now is in the audience. Because thanks of their big efforts, we regularly organized various artistic events, including the global recognized World Theatre Day on March 27, International Dance Day on April 29th, and the World Congress every 2 or 3 years. These significant cultural celebrations have been realized through dedicated efforts from our worldwide members. Here, I give a big respect for them. Under the UNESCO Winning Team framework 8 years ago, ITI established a network for the higher education in the performing arts across the globe. Currently, this network boasting memberships from 16 countries, and the students' festival, workshops, seminars are often happening in the different corners of this world. The World Performing Arts Capital is another virtual project that encourage and award the city to empower its inhabitants through the performing arts. While I could list a lot long lists, the activities under the ITI, but I believe maybe here I can show you the video presentation, which is offered a vivid image for you. And I invite you to stand a few minutes to watch this the video with me together. And I wish the beautiful image can always stay in your memory. Thank you. So we share video. continue. You can continue, huh? What you have seen, this is the video. It's a celebration of the International Dance Day, and now what you are going to witness is the network for higher education in the performing arts, which will build up in the framework of the UNESCO Unity program. Thank you for your attention. What you have seen is all the activity which is organized by the ITI centers from the different country or by the General Secretariat. And the events is always regularly happening in the different countries and also even in the COVID time. And you can see we are continue doing online. And I think this is very, very important for us to through the arts, through the culture, to unite people, to to take care of the community, and to cultivate the peace in the mankind. So I'm going to conclude my presentation, and the last, let me to share a few words from one of my best artist friends. He's written, "The arts are our dreams of tomorrow, here today. It's us, dream with the eyes of our children looking at us. The performing arts, in its unique disappearing nature, remind us of the preciousness of our time together in the life." Again, congratulations on the vision and the courage to create these events, and congratulations to everyone who made this incredible dream possible. And a special thanks for our translator. I think she made a wonderful job this morning to make all of us to listen the wonderful presentation and stay in the same line. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think it's a really inspiring presentation, but we should think further on how to apply it to our topic so that maybe next time International Dance Day and Theatre Day is also celebrated at Marniuli and Sagareggio. How is it possible through community dance presentations or maybe bringing international
It's
artists?
very, very, very important questions. So allow me to give a little bit idea about it. International Dance Day and the World Theatre Day, it belongs to the world. Okay, every year we select a very distinguished people to write the message. The aim is to tribute the day for this arts form. And all the centers, or not ITI centers, even just a theater group or the dance group would like to celebrate, please write to the ITI. And we are going to put your activity in our worldwide map, and then your activities is going to be streamed on the ITI's network, and everybody will celebrate with you together. And the good news I forgot to say is for this World Theatre Day 2024, the message author is John Foss, which is the Nobel winner prize. So his message is very, very, very important for today. Then the title is Arts and Peace. So I invite everybody to read his message and let us keep this in our mind. The world needs it more than ever. Thank you.
Thank you for this good opportunity for our regions in question to think about joining the international community of theater and dance. Now we were expecting our distinguished guest, Chairman of European Cultural Parliament. By the way, I have honor to be a member of this international NGO since '95, so it's already 30 years or something like, yes. And as soon as Mr. Norman is not with us, so there will be his
I am with you.
video. Yes, hello, Eric.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. You hear me? Okay. Well, I'm so sorry that I cannot be with you live. I had really been looking forward to joining you during this exciting week in Georgia, a European country which I really like and love after having had the privilege of visiting Georgia many times, both in Tbilisi and Batumi and some other places. So it is very sad that for family reasons I was not able to come, but it's nice to see you now and to hear that you have had an exciting week. I know that you have been able to look at history, cuisine, wine, of course, music and dance, and seen some interesting smaller cities than Tbilisi as well. Except for having founded the European Cultural Parliament, it was not 30 years ago, Jahangir, it was in 2002, as a matter of fact. But it is quite some time, and we have had many meetings since then. I was just going to say that except from that, I'm also a lecturer at the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy in Berlin. And what you are doing right now in Tbilisi and in this conference is a very good and typical piece of cultural diplomacy. So I would say that the presentation of cities, of all sorts of culture in a very broad sense is excellent cultural diplomacy. We didn't speak about cultural diplomacy, let's say, 30 or 40 years ago. We did cultural diplomacy, but we did not have the terminology. We were speaking about promoting a country, we were speaking about cultural exchange, and we, of course, had a lot of contacts. So cultural diplomacy as such is thousands of years ago. We had a representative of China right now, and she will confirm to me that cultural diplomacy existed already 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. So it is nothing new, but it has become very much active on the international agenda in the last 20, 25 years. And I'm happy that we are making progress in having all governments, institutions, and NGOs understanding how important it is that we meet not only officially in politics or in commercially in business, but also between normal people being engaged in arts, music, even aspects like cuisine, like wine, tea, sports, fashion, and many, many other aspects. So when you meet like you do right now in Tbilisi, you are performing a wonderful act of cultural diplomacy. I don't have to remind you that cultural diplomacy right now has a difficult time, an uphill battle because of the ongoing conflicts, the wars going on not only between Russia and Ukraine, not only between Israel and Hamas, but we have, as a matter of fact, more than 30 wars going on around the world right now. So the challenge for cultural diplomacy to re-establish understanding and a spirit of cooperation is bigger than it has been for many decades. We are proud to have one little instrument for this cultural diplomacy, our European Culture Parliament. I'm so happy to see again you, Jahangir, at the panel, and I also saw in the room our old friend Levan Ketaguri, who I think has been very instrumental in the organizing this meeting. They belong to almost the founding members of the European Cultural Parliament, which was founded in 2001 at the Council of Europe in Strasbourg. We had our first session in Bruges, in Belgium, in 2002. And since then, we have had 20 different sessions and also a few symposia and seminars. The inspiration was, of course, the feeling that the politics and economy is not enough for the European cooperation. And nota bene, you are sitting right now in a European country. Never forget that Georgia belongs to Europe, just like Azerbaijan and Armenia and Turkey, Ukraine, and even Russia, in the best of worlds. But the European Union is a smaller context, 27 members right now, but we are anxious to have a very strong cooperation with the neighboring countries, aiming at a future membership of these countries. So an inspiration was the violinist, the great violinist Yehudi Menuhin, who once said the artists need a parliament. I never met him, but I think that he might have been happy to see what we have established, the kind of network and platform that we represent, 160 different personalities, distinguished personalities from 43 European countries. And another inspiration was the president of the European Commission, Jacques Delors, who said, Europe has a soul. And we are very anxious to confirm this statement in our meetings And I know that, for instance, Levan Ketaguri is active also in another network called the Soul of Europe. We both try to underline the fact that ethical and aesthetic values are very much the essence of a European society. It's not only about politics and economy. So we even say that culture is the core of society. The creativity is the source of human existence. Well, so our members are artists, musicians, authors, philosophers, theater people, architects, historians, and many other categories. From Georgia, we have Levan Ketaguri, for instance, and David Sakvaralitse, and David Lorkipanitse, and Dudana Masmanishvili, to mention a few examples. What we discuss in the European Culture Parliament are issues of utmost importance for the European society, where we feel that artists, philosophers, and people from the cultural sector can contribute very importantly to the European discussion and to European development. So we discuss democracy, human rights, also intercultural dialogue, the role of media, the very important role of the values, European values. We discuss cultural identities, and of course, how European cohesion can be established more. We have to discuss migration, which has become so important in the last few decades, and all the time, of course, the role of arts and culture in the development of Europe. So, again, the European Culture Parliament is a case for culture diplomacy. It is a case for what we call European soft power, and we discuss this at our meetings, which we have normally once a year. We have been so far in Strasbourg, in Bruges, Graz, Genoa, Lisbon, Turku, Sibiu, Liverpool, Gothenburg, Athens, Pitch, twice in Berlin, Edinburgh, Pristina, Girona, Batumi in Georgia, Rotterdam, Dilijan in Armenia, and Kaunas in Lithuania. We are hopeful to have our next meeting in Graz in Austria in April this year. So it's a pan-European project which has the Europe definition of Council of Europe. And what all these names confirm, some of them are capitals, but others are smaller cities of a country. It confirms that city branding is a very important part of European cultural diplomacy. And of cultural diplomacy globally. City branding is an instrument for promoting the prosperity of the inhabitants of the city. And I hope that, I'm sure you have had interesting visits to the cities of Marneuli and Sagarejo, and now you are in Tbilisi. Cultural diplomacy and festival diplomacy, arts and music diplomacy, food or cuisine diplomacy, wine diplomacy, tea diplomacy, and also sports diplomacy and fashion diplomacy. Many other such aspects are fantastic instruments for a big city or for a smaller city to promote itself, to put itself on the map in the international community. So this is why I think you have taken such a wonderful initiative in promoting the idea of both the Silk Road and in culture, and of course promoting the wine tradition of these cities. So our platform, the European Culture Parliament, is there, and we are open for a discussion and for future cooperation. We are proud of our members, and we hope that our platform for discussing Europe from a cultural philosophical point of view will be of interest to all of you. We look forward to a future cooperation, and I wish your conference all success. I look forward to hearing other contributions during this afternoon. I'm also, of course, prepared to answer any question you may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Norman. First of all, I would like to apologize for mixing up the dates. Indeed, I got membership in European Cultural Parliament in 2005, so it's almost 20 years, not 30. So you improved me. And I mixed up with another date because with my good friend, my close friend, Levan Hitaguri, we made acquainted in Amsterdam, at Amsterdam Summer University. It is interesting that living in neighboring countries, we never met before, and it was required to meet somewhere far away, and since then work closely together. So it was my mistake about the dates. And now I would like just to stress out, to stress out one interesting point about cultural diplomacy, which you mentioned. It is about shifting from one-way promotion of your country, which was the case in, let's say, 60s, 70s, to understanding that it doesn't work well if it is not combined with mutual activities and attempts to understand others. So that is more about cooperation rather than promoting your achievements. And we all take that into consideration while developing our strategic perspectives. And I think that it is also important for our colleagues from Georgian cities, Marneuli and Sagareggio, so that they embrace more culture from outside, not only expecting that people will value their achievements in their history and, let's say, hospitality, but also trying to see what is the outer world doing and bring the best practices to their respective cities and regions. Now I would like to give the floor to Gert Nassens, who is also not alien for me. We already met several times at different occasions in Baku, in Norway, and online during pandemics quite extensively, because Gert is an important figure in European Festival Association, which also embraces a quite large number of festivals across the continent. Please.
Thank you, Sahangir. I had a small problem this morning. I lost part of my glasses, but luckily the glasses are still there, so I will be able to read my text. First, before starting my presentation, I would like to give a few thank yous. First to the mayor of Marneuli, Mr. Omarov, and the mayor of Sagareggio, Mr. Gulikashvili, for their great welcome and the opportunity to visit their cities, and for their engagement in the FSCIL, which I will come back to in my presentation. Second, I want to thank Levan Ketaguri for taking the initiative for launching this Silk Road hub for culture, wine and technology. And finally, the rector of this university, Mr. Gurgenitze, for welcoming us in his university. So the European Festivals Association is as I said, an association, and it is a community of festivals. More than 72 years we are existing. I think we are the oldest festival network in Europe, and we have about 110 members and in 40 countries, which are strongly involved in the strategy of our network. What we do is we intend to increase organizational and artistic opportunities for the festivals. And we do that by supporting the festivals in their mission. And that is bringing more culture to more people, and in that way contribute to a better world. So, yes. We have a few important events every year. And our main event is the Arts Festival Summit. This will be this year in May, 12 to 15 May, in Germany, in the north of Germany, on the island Usedom, in the Baltic Sea. And it is a 3 or 4 day event hosted by one of our members, in this case the Usedomer Music Festival. And we invite all our members, of course, but we invite also the stakeholders of the festivals. And that is then, amongst others, the cities, the festival cities. The picture is from last year in Spain, in Girona, in Peralada, I'm sorry, it's the castle of Peralada, close to Girona. A second important event where we are not the main organizer, but strongly involved, is the Berlin Conference. It's in collaboration with Soul for Europe, which was already announced as one of the organizations where Levan category is active also. And in Berlin, there the participants are cultural leaders, politicians, but also artists, members of civil society, and also young people, city representatives. And they have debates on the role and responsibilities of Europe and its citizens in today's challenges and in building a sustainable and resilient future. The third important event, it's not an event, it's a forum. It's called Denise de Rougemont Forum. Denise de Rougemont, he was an important philosopher, I think 100 years ago, or 75 years ago, let's say. And he was one of the founders of our association. And he founded our association with only one purpose, that was to make festivals, or mainly festivals, collaborate, co-produce, share artists and artistic values. So we still use his name to indicate collaboration, cooperation between festivals. So this forum is partly online, different online meetings during the year, but since last year we also decided to make it a physical gathering, an event once a year. We had recently one in Sarajevo in last November. And why I'm telling all this is because we are planning to organize also one in Georgia, and that might happen in 2025. All details are still to be defined, but the intention is there. Then, next slide. So we have 110 members, which is our core, but we are talking to many more festivals. We are talking to the sector, and we do this, or we create a community of more than 3,000 festivals on this platform called festivalfinder.eu. And on that platform you will also find 17 Georgian festivals. I checked it 1 hour ago, so there are still 17 on there. Yeah, it guides audiences to these festivals. For the festivals, it is kind of a show board where they can be shown to a worldwide audience. It is, of course, because there are a lot of festivals on it, also a tool to find each other and to collaborate. Also on it are the festival cities. This is something under construction, so at this moment there are only 5 cities visible on the platform, but the rest is being built up at the moment. On this platform there is also the FL label. This was a very important project for us and for the festivals in Europe that was launched in 2015 with European funding. And it was the idea to give a quality stamp to remarkable arts festivals in Europe. It was given for them to work on the arts, of course, but also to work on community involvement, to involve community, and for their international openness. This is not immediately related to today's topic, but I just give a very short overview of some other projects that we do. And it's important because it's something which is quite new in our association, is that we are creating real funding opportunities. And the first project here is called European Festival Fund for Emerging Artists. And in this fund, we give 50 grants per year to festivals that take an emergent artist in residency. So the money goes to the artist, the production that the artist is making, but it is given through the festivals. And there is also a mandatory collaboration between the festivals in the same residency. If you would like to have details on these 2 funding opportunities, you can ask me later. I will not go into detail now, there is no time for that. Second funding opportunity is Perform Europe. Maybe you've heard of it. There was one edition that took place in the previous 3 years, and now the second edition is being launched. And there, in this opportunity, there are 35 or 6, I'm not 100% sure, grants that will be given not for producing to artists, but for sustainable touring. That's an important difference between the 2 funding opportunities. This is open for performing arts, unfortunately not for music. The previous funding opportunity is open for all art disciplines. So then we come to, you see already the logo of the Culture, Wine and Technologies Hub, the Silk Road Hub. About 5-6 years ago, we started to intensify our communication or our contacts with festival cities, with the cities and the regions. We have always been in contact because it's the main stakeholder of the festivals. But it was intensified, and it was finally, and this led to the official launch of the FS seal for festival cities and regions, which is a seal, and it was officially launched in Yerevan 2 years. I was telling exactly the same for a little interview before this, so I have the feeling that I already told you, but it's not true. So I have to say everything. It was officially launched in Yerevan in 2021, where we had our annual summit, Arts Festival Summit, and it's created, in fact, in collaboration with 7 founding cities. And these 7 founding cities you can see on the screen on the left. They decided to sit together and see how they could improve their city marketing by using festivals. More in general, culture, how to make the destination more attractive, make the branding more interesting. And on the other hand, festivals wanted to be better supported by their cities. And this two-way collaboration is the essence of the FS Seal for festival cities and regions. So they decided to make a working group around it. So the FS Seal, in fact, is more like an invitation, more like a recognition towards festival cities to be active in this working group and implement this in their city. Important to say here is that in Yerevan, the 7 founding members signed up for the seal. It was an official signing ceremony. In the next summit, which was then in Yerevan, the launch was in 22. In 23 in Girona, some other cities joined and signed. And there we were happy to welcome also the two Georgian cities that are inviting us here today, Mariuli and Sagareggio. So they are part of this platform. And thanks to these 2 cities joining this was a kind of starting point for this Silk Road hub in Georgia, which is very important because it is the basis for other cities in Georgia to join, and maybe in future even further than in Georgia, maybe the cities around, as the Silk Road hub. The name is because it's a gate for Europe towards the eastern parts of the world. So that about the Silk Road hub, and I think this is to say something in function of what Mr. Norman told us. This is maybe our small contribution to this cultural diplomacy. And we do it on a very low level, on city level. And it seems to be very interesting. We have so many cities today interested to join. We have now around 20 cities signed up that really signed it. 10 more will sign in Uzudom in the next summit, and there's a full list of interested cities. So it's really a platform which you will hear from it in the future again. So I will never give a presentation without having one slide on this project, which is called the Festival Academy. It's our capacity building department. It is at this moment we have split it up in a separate organization, so it is quite independent, and they give trainings to young festival managers, future festival managers, and at this moment I think it exists since when was it launched? The first atelier we organized in 2006, so that's almost 20 years ago. And officially the Festival Academy as a department has been launched in 2013, about 10 years ago. And today we have about 1,400 festival managers trained from more than 100 countries. These trainings are organized worldwide. So, I will go back to one slide, because now I will ask to play a little movie about this FSCL.
Festivals reflect the identity of their host cities and regions. In addition to providing a powerful platform to celebrate urban life, the creative power of arts and culture brings citizens closer together. Festivals can shape their environment in multiple ways. Europe for Festivals, Festivals for Europe, began as an EU-funded programme to help arts and intercultural experiences assemble and motivate urban and regional communities to play an active role in the development of Europe. Recently, 7 cities and their festival communities initiated a proposal through the European Festivals Association for an FE seal for festival cities and regions. Belgrade, Bergen, Edinburgh, Ghent, Krakow, Leeuwarden and Ljubljana have experienced the benefits of innovative cooperation between cities and their festivals. Their proposal will help thousands more cities and their arts festivals to take part and actively promote Europe's cultural diversity and artistic vibrancy. The goals, principles and values of the FECL will be set out in a founding charter that calls for adherence to fundamental European values, as well as creativity, sustainability, internationalism and critical thinking. The FECL celebrates each participating city's achievements towards its festival community and a commitment to common goals and values. Holders of the FECL will feature on the festivalfinder.eu portal, reaching millions across Europe and beyond. As festivals continue to grow in popularity and in numbers, this approach aligns with other important facets of city branding. The broad definition of festival regions also encompasses towns, villages, rural areas, valleys and islands. Greater visibility for what they offer can help streamline best practices, as well as strengthening ties with residents, artists, audiences, tourism and many other stakeholders. Why should cities join? The FECL highlights the impacts festivals generate for their urban, rural and regional environments. The FECL offers an additional dimension to the city brand. Familiarity with peers helps to define the city's own festival strategy. Festival schedules, logistics and marketing can be adjusted better. The FECL is one more anchor from the city to the common European project. If you want to know more about the FECL for festival cities and regions, write to info@efa-aef.eu or visit our website. Regular sharing of experiences of festival cities working with the FECL will be available on festivalfinder.eu and the website of the European Festivals Association.
So thank you.
Join us online for the...
One last thing, I just have a few of these mini folders left. If you're interested, you can ask me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nassens. I think some work is already done. Sagareggio and Marneuli are the creative or festival region in Europe. And now you should maybe, my advice as an observer from outside is to strengthen this brand, because you have got this seal, but it should be visible and should indeed work for your benefit so that people come to your festivals and know that you are in this family of selected European festivals. And moreover, I think that there is also room for cooperation between the festivals, so that when you arrange your next program, you should have in mind inviting your colleagues which also got this seal, So you are already some strong family of festivals. Thank you.
Thank you.
So our next speaker, actually we are going beyond the limit indicated here because all presentations are so interesting that I didn't take courage to stop anybody. But I will ask our next two presenters to be as short as possible. So now floor is given to Mrs. Nona Othozoria, Vice Dean of the Faculty of Informatics and Control Systems in our hosting venue in Tbilisi Polytechnical University.
მოგესალმებით ფორუმის მონაწილეობა. ჩემთვის ძალიან საინტერესოა დღევანდელ ფორუმში მონაწილეობა. დღეს ბევრი რამ ისმოდა კულტურის შესახებ, მე კი ტექნოლოგიებზე მინდა გესაუბროთ და სწორედ ეს ორი სფერო დავაკავშიროთ ერთმანეთს. მე ვარ ინფორმატიკის და მართვის სისტემების ფაკულტეტის წარმომადგენელი და ჩემი ფაკულტეტი არის ერთ-ერთი განსაკუთრებული და მნიშვნელოვანი ინსტიტუცია ქვეყნის მასშტაბით, ასევე რეგიონში, რომელიც ამზადებს სპეციალისტებს და ქმნის და დიდი წვლილი შეაქვს ქვეყნის ინდუსტრიული განვითარებაში. ჩვენ თითოეული ჩვენთაგან საოცარ ეპოქაში მოგვიხდა ცხოვრება. ეს არის 21 საუკუნე მეოთხე ინდუსტრიული რევოლუციის ეპოქა. და სწორედ ციფრული ცხოვრების სიკეთემ, კომფორტმა დღეს თქვენს ფორუმის მონაწილეებს ბევრი საინტერესო შესაძლებლობა მოგცა. მოგცა ინსტანციურად ჩართულიყავით, ერთმანეთისთვის გაგვეზიარებინა ინფორმაცია, მონაცემები და ასე შემდეგ. და გაცილებით კომფორტული და საინტერესო ყოფილიყო ჩვენი ურთიერთობა. საინტერესოა ჩვენი ეპოქა, რომელიც ციფრული რევოლუციის ეპოქა და რომელიც ცდილობს საზღვრები წაშალოს ფიზიკურ, ბიოლოგიურ და ბიოლოგიურ, ფიზიკურ და ციფრულ სფეროებს შორის. და მაინც რაზე უნდა ვისაუბრო დღეს მე? მე მინდა ვისაუბრო ჭკვიან ქალაქზე, ისეთ ქალაქზე, სადაც ჩვენ, თითოეულ ჩვენთაგანისთვის ცხოვრება იქნება გაცილებით კომფორტული და საინტერესო. თითოეულ ჩვენთაგანი ვიყენებთ სხვადასხვა მობილურ აპლიკაციებს, გეგმავთ ჩვენს ყოველდღიურობას, ვათვალიერებთ და ვეძებთ Google-ის სივრცეში ჩვენთვის საინტერესო ინფორმაციას და ამას ყველაფერს ვაკეთებთ ძალიან სწრაფად. ახლა მოდით წარმოვიდგინოთ, თითქოს ჩვენ ცხოვრობთ ერთ დიდ აპლიკაციაში, სადაც ჩვენ შეგვიძლია დავგეგმოთ და ვნახოთ ჩვენს ქალაქში, როგორ მარტივად გადავაადგილდეთ, როგორი მარტივი და კომფორტული იყოს ცხოვრება, როგორ ვისუნთქოთ უფრო ჯანსაღი სუფთა ჰაერით და როგორ მივიღოთ ყველაფერი ის, რასაც დღეს თქვენ ასე საუბრობდით, თუნდაც კულტურის ნაწილი, დავგეგმოთ ჩვენი ღონისძიებები და ასე შემდეგ. სწორედ ჭკვიანი ქალაქის კონცეფციაა ეს, რომლისკენაც ვიბძვით, უამრავი ქალაქს უკვე აქვს პრეტენზია თქვას, რომ ის არის ჭკვიანი ქალაქი და მე დარწმუნებული ვარ, რომ თქვენი ქალაქებიც უშუალოდ იქნება ჭკვიანი ქალაქი და ჩვენთვის ძალიან საინტერესო იქნება და კომფორტული ამ ქალაქებში ცხოვრება. მაინც შემიძლია გადავადგილო, ხო? რა არის ხერხემალი, ასე ვთქვათ, ჭკვიანი ქალაქის და ეს არის საინფორმაციო ტექნოლოგიების ინფრასტრუქტურა. რას მოიცავს საინფორმაციო ტექნოლოგიების ინფრასტრუქტურა და რა ქმნის ყველა იმ კომფორტს, რაზეც მე ვისაუბრე. პირველ რიგში ეს არის ძლიერი და მაღალსიჩქარიანი ინტერნეტ ქსელი, რომელიც ახორციელებს უწყვეტ კავშირს და კომუნიკაციას იმ მოწყობილობებთან, სენსორებთან და სისტემებთან, რომელიც ქმნის ერთიან მთლიან სისტემას და რომელსაც შეუძლია მონაცემების გაზიარება. მონაცემთა ცენტრები, რომელიც ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია იმისათვის, რომ ეს სისტემები, ადამიანები, ასე ვთქვათ, სენსორები უამრავ მონაცემებს აგენერირებენ, ქმნიან და ჩვენთვის ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია ამ მონაცემების შენახვა. და შენახვა იმისთვის, რომ დავამუშაოთ იმისთვის, რომ მივიღოთ მართველი, სწორი და ინფორმაციული გადაწყვეტილებები. მოვახდინოთ პროგნოზირება მომავლის და უფრო საინტერესო დავგეგმოთ, ასე ვთქვათ, ჩვენი ყოველდღიურობა. ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია ჭკვიან ქალაქში უსადენო სენსორული ქსელები. ურბანულ ლანდშაფტებში უნდა განთავსდეს სენსორები, რომლებიც მოაგროვებს ყოველდღიურ ინფორმაციას მიმდინარე პროცესებზე, რომელთა საშუალებითაც შეიძლება ჩვენ მართველი და სწორი გადაწყვეტილებები მივიღოთ. ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია ინფრასტრუქტურაში cloud computing-ი, ანუ საცავები, მოქნილი საცავები ინფორმაციის შენახვისათვის და დამუშავებისათვის. და ჭკვიან ქალაქში მაინც ყველაზე მნიშვნელოვანი ღია მონაცემთა პლატფორმაა, რომ მონაცემები არასენსიტიურ მონაცემებზე მაქვს საუბარი, ხელმისაწვდომი იყოს ნებისმიერი ადამიანისათვის და კვლევარისთვის, საზოგადოების ნებისმიერი წევრისთვის, დეველოპერისთვის, რომ გააზიარონ ეს ინფორმაცია ერთმანეთში, რაც ხელს შეუწყობს ინოვაციას და სამოქალაქო ჩართულობას. უკვე აღნიშნე, რომ ძალიან დიდი ყურადღებას ჩვენ უთმობთ მონაცემთა შეგროვებას და ანალიზს. მონაცემები არის ის ჩვენი ისტორიული მეხსიერება, რომლის საფუძველზეც ჩვენ შეგვიძლია პროგნოზირება განვახორციელოთ, მივიღოთ ინფორმაციული გადაწყვეტილებები და უფრო საინტერესოდ დავგეგმოთ ჩვენი ყოველდღიურობა. ყველაზე მთავარი ჭკვიან ქალაქში სწორედ ურბანული მობილურობაა. ყველაზე მეტად სწორედ ეს პრობლემა გვაქვს ჩვენ, განსაკუთრებით დიდ ქალაქებში და ის რას მოიცავს? ეს არის ეფექტური, მდგრადი, ურთიერთდაკავშირებული სატრანსპორტო სისტემების ქსელი, რომელშიც შესაძლებელია გქონდეს ინტელექტუალური სატრანსპორტო სისტემა, ჭკვიანი პარკირების გადაწყვეტილებები, ტრაფიკის მენეჯმენტი, განსაკუთრებით მნიშვნელოვანია ველოსიპედისა და ფეხის მოსიარულეებისათვის ინფრასტრუქტურა, ელექტრო და მდგრადი ტრანსპორტი. მე მაინც არ გავშლი დეტალურად თითოეულ ამ ნაწილს, იმიტომ რომ ეს ის საკითხებია, რომელიც თითოეულ ჩვენთაგანს, რომელ ქალაქშიც არ უნდა ცხოვრობდეთ, გვაღელვებს და რომლის გადაწყვეტა სწორედ მიგვაჩნია ძალიან მნიშვნელოვან საკითხად. 21 საუკუნეში ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი მაინც ენერგიის ეფექტური მართვაა. იმ ეპოქაში, რომელშიც ჩვენ ცხოვრობთ, სადაც უამრავი ნივთი უკვე ინტერნეტ ნივთი გახდა, თითოეულ ნივთს უამრავი ენერგია სჭირდება მოიხმაროს. შესაბამისად, 21 საუკუნის ადამიანისთვის ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი უნდა იყოს ენერგიის ეფექტური მართვა, რომელიც მოიცავს, რას გულისხმობს, რა კომპონენტები შეიძლება იყოს ენერგიის ეფექტური მართვისთვის. ყველაზე მნიშვნელოვანი მაინც მგონია, რომ ეს არის smart ბადეები, ანუ smart გაზომვები, ასე ვთქვათ, ჭკვიანი მრიცხველების დაყენება რეალურ დროში, რეალური მონიტორინგი, მართვა იმ პროცესების რა ენერგიას ვიყენებ და ყველაზე მნიშვნელოვანი ალტერნატიული ენერგიის წყაროების გამოყენება. სწორედ ჭკვიანი ქალაქი უფრო დიდ აქცენტს აკეთებს ქარისა და მზის ენერგიაზე, რომ უფრო გაიცვას ჩვენი გარემო და ვიცხოვროთ ჩვენ, იცხოვრონ ჩვენმა შვილებმა ჯანმრთელ და ასე ვთქვათ, ჯანმრთელ და ეკოლოგიურად სუფთა გარემოში. უკვე ვისაუბრე განახლებადი ენერგიების ინტერვენციაზე, ასე ვთქვათ, ეს არის მზის ენერგია, ქარის ენერგია, ენერგოეფექტური შენობები ჭკვიანი ქალაქების ერთ-ერთი მნიშვნელოვანი კომპონენტია. ასევე ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი არის ენერგიის შენახვის გადაწყვეტილებები. ჩვენ გვაქვს პიკური სეზონები, პიკური დროები, სადაც ძალიან დიდი რაოდენობით ენერგიას ვიყენებ. მაგრამ გვაქვს პერიოდები, როცა შეგვიძლია ნაკლები ენერგია დავხარჯოთ. ამ შემთხვევაში ჩვენ შეგვიძლია შევინახოთ ენერგია და მივიღოთ ეს გადაწყვეტილება, რომელიც შემდეგ გამოვიყენოთ სწორედ იმ პიკურ პერიოდებში. ანალიტიკა ჭკვიანი ქალაქისთვის არის ერთ-ერთი მნიშვნელოვანი ნაწილი, რომელიც ისევ გამეორდები ეფუძნება მონაცემთა შეგროვებასა და ანალიზს. სწორედ ეს ანალიტიკა მოგცემს საშუალებას დავგეგმოთ ჩვენი ყოველდღიურობა და სწორი ანალიზი გავაკეთოთ. და ყველაზე მთავარი, მაინც ამ ყველაფერთან არის განათლება და ინფორმირებულობა. სამოქალაქო საზოგადოების ცნობიერების ამაღლება, რა შეგვიძლია ვაკეთოთ ჩვენ იმისთვის, რომ ჩვენი ყოველდღიურობა გაცილებით სუფთა და ჯანსაღი იყოს. ამისათვის ალბათ ძალიან დიდი რესურსი უნდა დავხარჯოთ იმისად, რომ შევამციროთ ეკოლოგიური ზიანი და ჩვენი ყოველდღიური ქმედება მიმართული იყოს იმისთვის, რომ ვიცხოვროთ უფრო ჯანსაღ გარემოში. ეს პრიორიტეტია ჭკვიან ქალაქში. გარემოს მდგრადობა და მასთან დაკავშირებული ნებისმიერი საკითხი არის ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანი ამ ყველაფრის გადასაწყვეტად. უკვე თქვი, რომ ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია ჭკვიან ქალაქში ერთი რიგითი მოქალაქე, რომელსაც უნდა გქონდეს წვდომა ნებისმიერ არასენსიტიურ ინფორმაციასთან და მარტივად მიიღოს ყველა საჯარო სერვისი, ასე ვთქვათ. ამიტომაც საჯარო სერვისები ერთი მნიშვნელოვანი კომპონენტია ჭკვიანი ქალაქისთვის, რომელშიც რას მოვიაზრებ. ეს არის ელექტრონული მმართველობის პლატფორმები. მოქალაქეთა ჩართულობა, ღია მონაცემთა პლატფორმები, ციფრული პირადობის მენეჯმენტი, ჭკვიანი სერვისის მიწოდება, ასე ვთქვათ, მართვისა და კონტროლის ინტეგრირებული ცენტრები და საზოგადოებრივი საფრთხეებისა და გადაუდებელი დახმარების სერვისები. სრულიად დამრწმუნებით ალბათ, რომ თითოეული მოქალაქისთვის ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია თითოეული სერვისის განვითარება, ასე ვთქვათ. და ასევე დღეს მსოფლიოში ძალიან აქტუალური გახდა დისტანციური სამედიცინო მომსახურების მიღება. ადამიანები ძალიან დიდ დროს ხარჯავთ სამსახურებში, სხვადასხვა ორგანიზაციებში. ჩვენთვის უკვართული ხდება ვიზიტი და პირისპირ მისვლა, თუნდაც ექიმთან და ასე შემდეგ. ჭკვიანი ჯანმრთელობის სერვისი და ტელემედიცინის განვითარება სწორედ ჭკვიანი ქალაქის ერთ-ერთი მნიშვნელოვანი კომპონენტია. პაციენტის დისტანციური მონიტორინგი და ჯანმრთელობის მონაცემების ანალიტიკა აუმჯობესებს სწორედ ამ სერვისის ხელმისაწვდომობას და ეფექტურობას ჯანდაცვის მიწოდებაში. 21 საუკუნეში ყველაზე გვესმის და ყველაზე მნიშვნელოვანი ამდენ ინტერნეტში ჩართულ ხელსაწყოებში არის კიბერუსაფრთხოება. სწორედ ამ მიმართულებით ძალიან ბევრი ზომები უნდა იყოს გატარებული და სწორედ მოქალაქეთა მონაცემებისა და კრიტიკული ინფრასტრუქტურის დაცვა პრიორიტეტულია ჭკვიანი ქალაქისთვის. ჭკვიანი ქალაქები ახორციელებენ სწორედ კიბერუსაფრთხოების მძლავრ ზომებს, რათა დაიცვან და უზრუნველყონ ციფრული სერვისების მთლიანობა. ციფრულ მმართველობაზე უკვე ვისაუბრე, ინოვაციის ეკოსისტემა, ეს არის ის, რაც არის ყველაზე მნიშვნელოვანი. ეს არის ინოვაციური ჰაბები და ინკუბატორები, კვლევისა და განვითარების ცენტრები. სწორედ ჭკვიან ქალაქებში უნდა შეიქმნას ცენტრები, სადაც ინოვაციური ჰაბები იქნება, სადაც მოქალაქეებს შეუძლიათ წარადგინონ თავიანთი იდეები, გაიაზრონ და ახალი ინოვაციური იდეა დაიბადოს. ასევე კვლევისა და განვითარების ცენტრებში გულისხმობთ ეგრეთ წოდებულ საცდელ ცენტრებს, სადაც ინოვატორს შეუძლია გაიტანოს თავისი იდეა, გააკეთოს საცდელი, გამოცდა ჩაატაროს და რეალურ დროში, რეალურ პერიოდში თქვას რამდენად ეფექტურია და საინტერესოა ამ სისტემის ინსტალაცია ზოგადად და შემდეგ გავრცელება. ამ ინოვაციურ ეკოსისტემაში ბუნებრივია ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია თანამშრომლობა ნებისმიერ სექტორთან. ეს იქნება საჯარო სექტორი, კერძო სექტორი და ასე შემდეგ. ინოვაციური გამოწვევები სწორედ ამ მათი მხარდაჭერით შეიძლება განხორციელდეს. და მე მინდა რომ ვიცი, ცოტა დროში შეზღუდული ვართ, ვეცდები რომ მალე დავასრულო ჩემი პრეზენტაცია და მოკლედ შევაჯამო. მაინც რა არის ჭკვიანი ქალაქის კონცეფცია და რა არის? არის ეს ის რომ ჩვენ შევქმნათ ურთიერთობა, შევქმნათ ქალაქი, რომელშიც იქნება გაზრდილი ურბანული ცხოვრების ეფექტურობა, მდგრადობა და საერთო ხარისხი. ის დინამიური და მუდმივი პროცესი, რომლითაც მივდივართ ჩვენ ჭკვიანი ქალაქის შეთქმნამდე, მოითხოვს თანამშრომლობას, ადაპტირებას და საუკეთესო და საერთო ხედვას უკეთესი მომავლისათვის. მინდა მადლობა მოგიხადოთ და მინდა გისურვოთ, რომ ვიცხოვროთ ასეთ ჭკვიან, ურბანულად განვითარებულ და კომფორტულ ქალაქებში. მადლობა.
Thank you, Mrs. Oxoria. I think that it's really inspiring overview of what smart city brings to ordinary citizens and to the management of cities, and it could be a good guideline for our protagonist cities, which we are discussing here now, their cultural development, but it will be a good base if they could provide conditions for smart cities. And as far as I know, there are several international grant programs in UNDP and European Union allowing to achieve this ideal. For us it sounds like an ideal state, but it is possible to achieve by step. And among the measures which Mrs. Othozoria mentioned, there is a collection of data and data analysis. Cultural data is now crucial. I don't know to which extent Ministry of Culture of Georgia is let's say, concerned about that, and how it's indeed, let's say, relates its strategic decisions on data collected, but it is really important now. And I think that cooperation with your university and specialists like you would be to mutual benefit, because especially for making strategic view on development of culture, it's required to get more precise data about cultural statistics. Thank you. Would you like to answer?
Madloba თქვენ მართლა ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია ყოველივეს. ჩვენი სტუდენტები აქტიურად მუშაობენ და ამუშავებენ ნებისმიერ ტიპის ინფორმაციას, მათ შორის კულტურის მიმართულებით, ასე ვთქვათ, ჩვენ სხვადასხვა კულტურის ძეგლების მონიტორინგის სისტემებს ვაკეთებთ, სხვადასხვა ფესტივალების, ასე ვთქვათ, სიხშირეს და ყველა მიმართულებით. ჩვენს ფაკულტეტზე არიან მათემატიკოსები, ფიზიკოსები, საინფორმაციო ტექნოლოგიების მიმართულების სტუდენტები, რომლებიც მთლიანად ერთმანეთში აერთიანებენ ამ ინფორმაციას და ამ გლობალური ინფორმაციის საფუძველზე ძალიან საინტერესო ანალიტიკის წარმოდგენა შეუძლიათ, მათ შორის ხელოვნური ინტელექტის დახმარებით და სხვადასხვა თანამედროვე ინფორმაციული ტექნოლოგიების გამოყენებით. მადლობა თქვენ უკავშირისთვის.
Thank you. And our last presenter today is Mr. Yves Mettler from Switzerland. And Mr. Mettler represents a Soul for Europe. We already heard this about this organization when Mr. Karl-Erik Norman had his presentation. So now we would like to hear from you about our cities in the perspective of what a Soul for Europe is discussing and doing.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello everybody, it is great to be here. I want to thank you first, the authorities of Maneuli and Sagarejo, to welcome us, but also to go into the discussion with people from culture and bringing together private economy, politics and culture. I think it is really important that we don't lose touch to each other. Sometimes I'm also in my bubble and I forget the struggles of the other sectors. And if we want to co-produce a world, we have to talk to each other. I would like I will do a quick presentation, and maybe it's more like a feedback on the few days that we spent together. It is about the question of technology and cultures, and culture, or cultures with S, being many. And maybe the first thing is I was struck by the passion and the commitment to these technology of the Querli, for example, that has been developed here now for many years, and is still today being taken care of. A technology is not something that is lifeless, that is once defined, but is something that is continually developed, that is continually on the way of being refined. And as an artist, we sometimes love to open the car and to look how it's done and how it's made and to commit to how the things are done. For me, it is also, as an artist, so we met these fantastic people in Maneuli and then in Sarajevo, and they got all these also acknowledgement from state and for different organizations. This is a phenomena that already started in the 16th century when patrons and states started to protect and support invention and design. And it made possible people like Leonardo da Vinci, that is also sitting back there. So we're in his home, we're here together. And this is a period that allowed magnificent objects to be produced. And these were because there was a collaboration between artists, engineers, state, and economy. It is also the time that was producing this very bizarre machine that is called the printing press. And the printing press allowed, as a technology, to spread much quicker, very quicker, ideas all around the world. Now we have this. This is the network of all the submarine cables around the world supporting our infrastructure of the internet. This is the new printing press. It's a massive, massive, massive technology. And we are using it every day. Every second you take out your little computer. Every one of us is now equipped with a high capacity level computer. And sometimes this computer overwhelms us a little bit, especially maybe on what we call social medias, or let's say information technology. We just talked about big data, and I thank the university to bring this in. But I would like to go a little bit deeper in this question of cultural data or of information data, because they are making our mind. They are modeling the ideas and the image that you get from the world. And sometimes it feels a little bit like you also, I have a kid, she's a daughter, 14 years old. 2 years ago, she deleted TikTok from her phone because she was finding out that it was making her sad of not being part of the world that was going so fast around her. I wish that more kids could be enabled to reflect and think about with this social media. And we are all responsible for this, especially as authorities that are organizing the politics in our city. There are different counter possibilities. Sometimes it's using open source technologies. And for me, as an artist, it's really because these are tools I can go into and I can open them and I can use them and I don't have to pay for them. For example, when I use TikTok, when I use Facebook, when I use Instagram, I don't choose what I see and I don't choose who is going to see what I post. This is not my choice. I give up my voice when I use these internet tools. And this is very important to understand when you're in politics. Now, because we want to develop responsible citizens that can take over the challenge of a digital democracy, because this is what we're moving to, and we don't know yet exactly what it is, neither here nor in Switzerland nor in Germany. We are all working on this. This is a challenge that is the same for all cities in the world. But I think we have small tools, very local tools, where we can start to enable the kids to tinker, to play with information, with storytelling. And we can do this with very simple technologies: paper, printing, storytelling for themselves, jokes. And when I see the happiness or the commitment, the curiosity the kids have here, for example, in the theater, but also I made 2 small workshops. It's my second time now in Georgia. And on Saturday, I met a group of kids, and they were super curious. They wanted to hear, they wanted to listen. They asked me, but what should I publish? And where should I put my little magazine? They were already thinking with it. So it is possible to enable them to become actors of the stories they hear and not consumers of the ideas that are put upon them. In Tbilisi, some years ago, I made a little workshop with fanzines, and they were doing like a little rédaction, like editors. They were suddenly editors doing their little thingies, and you don't need a lot of resources to do this. And at the end, they're super happy to become themselves editors, sharing, and exchanging with the other cultures that are in the same town, that are in their local areas, in the audience that they can understand. And I think this is what we need. We need smart cities, and we need them full of smart kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Yves, your presentation was the shortest, but I think it provokes a real discussion. Unfortunately, we don't have time now, but it opens new avenues for thinking how to engage citizens in the real cultural process, which is not only representation, but also exchange and possibility to raise empathy in the society.
I think it's important that the kids start to understand that they can be actors, that they can take over a little bit of the situation, and because also they are holding the future in their hands, we have to really teach them. The smart city is not so useful if it's not taken by people who are active, engaged, and committed to their place. And I think arts, culture, and economy are here coming together in these education and experiences.
This spirit of exploring new possibilities, I would like to close this session, which was quite informative and thought-provoking. Thank you to everybody for participating in it, and also for our audience who patiently listened to us. I even don't dare to ask if anybody has questions, because we're already exhausted limits of our time. Thank you, but the questions could be organized, let's say, channeled through, how it is called, Silk Road Cultural Hub. So discussion is only opening up. Okay, thank you.